Problem is, what gives the royal family its so-called position in the world is because they claim this descent from this ancient line. When you can have a descent line coming from somebody or something, you see what I'm saying? That becomes something else. Get this, so these so-called Nazis that they're fighting are democratic socialists, right? Who invented the Democratic Party in the United States? Islam. Thank you. Thomas Jefferson, right? Yeah, we know the KKK through Pike because Pike was a Democrat or whatever, right? Yet today, the base who the Democratic Party uses to do its business or whatever is who? So-called black people, right? Right. Well, why would blacks or Negroes support a party that actually fostered the KKK? But then their ancestors, who were Republicans and founded of that so-called Republican Party, they don't. They think that that's evil. Look at it like this. This is when they say that we Moors, right? And they talk about Sharia law, right? This is what they want us to think that we down with. Because Sharia law is one thing, but I'm going to show you something else. Excuse me. As a legal system, Sharia law is exceptionally broad. While other legal codes regulate public behavior, Sharia law regulates public behavior, private behavior, even private beliefs. Compared to other legal codes, Sharia law is also calls for capital punishments over incarceration. Of all legal systems in the world today, Sharia law is the most intrusive and restrictive, especially against women. So in a Sharia law, theft is punishable by amputation. And they justify this. This is what the Quran verses come from. As you notice, their Quran's with a Q. And I don't think this is the I.Self.Law.Am.Master version. I think this is, the one that they do. Criticizing Muhammad or denying that he is the prophet is punishable by death. Criticizing and denying Allah is punishable by death. A Muslim who becomes a non-Muslim is punishable by death. A non-Muslim who leads a Muslim away from Islam is punished by death. So as you can see, this would fall under what I was talking about as Roman draconian law, right? Because this is what the Arabs and these people impose on each other, right? So this is what the Muslims or people who subscribe to their perspective of Islam deal with. This is what they are all subject to once they in that. So in their view, they view things from the extreme. Okay. Now look at the difference though when you look at what's called Sherifian law. All right. Yes. Sorry. Under Sherifian law, every subject of a Sherifian state is regarded as a Moroccan, whether he is a Muslim or not. Every Moroccan has the right to individual liberty, provided that he does not interfere with the liberty of others. Individual liberty consists in each citizen being able to do and say and write what he likes on the condition that he respects the public order. According to personal condition, primary education is obligatory. Freedom of expression is permitted provided that the public order is respected. All Moroccans are equal in terms of the function of the Maghstan, meaning the empire. which is distributed in accordance with the competence of the individual and not through the intermediaries or money. You understand what we're saying? You see the difference between, do you see the difference? Do you hear any death in this yet? Anybody dead? From the first line we read in the Sharia law, niggas getting their arms chopped off. You see anything like that? This says that if you exist in a Sherifian state, you are regarded as Moroccan, meaning Moorish, whether you Muslim or not. And we existed in a meritocracy. Because it says what? All Moroccans are equal in terms of the functions of the empire, which are distributed in accordance with the competence of the individual and not through the intermediaries, meaning your estate, your trust, your lawyer, whatever, or your money. An illiterate cannot occupy a post in the Magazine. A civil servant must be able to read and write Arabic correctly. And through Arabic, that means everything else. How many times you done went to the DMV and dealt with somebody totally illiterate, or had to call somebody on the phone and didn't know what they was talking about because they had such a heavy Indian accent or whatever, you couldn't understand what you're trying to get? Yeah. Their New Deal, that land was taken from them under the auspices, again, of tacit consent based upon them being redesignated as a subject of something else. But I'm showing you that we was already subjects under Sherifian law, not Sharia law. That's why every town in the United States has a sheriff, right? Has a sharif, right? Because that was the mandate of the treaty. Because all the lands that was a part of the empire was under Sherifian law, right? Because it was a Moroccan empire, right? It wasn't a Muslim empire, was it? There was Muslims in it. It was Islamic, right? But it was not this. Death is punishment. This is how the descendants of Hagar was running their aspect of Islam and worked with Rome and all of that to help depose us and establish what became the fall of the Western empires over there in what we've considered today Western Africa, which they still doing today. One was defensive, one was offensive. One was based on your merit, one was based on trying to control that merit. The fortune and property of every Moroccan subject is guaranteed. The government does not have the right to take away any subject's property unless it is required for public utility and after a decision by the consultative council and the express approval of the Sultan, the owner will be properly compensated. Period. How many times they force black people out of their house and they give them nothing? All of that is under Sharia law because Sharia law is Roman draconian law. Because they were in a situation where, remember, man, these people was damn near illiterate. Who was translating all of this stuff into Arabic? Or what became Arabic? When they said the majority of the so-called Arabs of the day couldn't read, or what that, because we are perceiving the term based on that, but that's not what the people refer to themselves as. Arab came from Arab or Ereb, which is another form of Eber, which again is another way of saying Hebrew. So those are Moors. Yet everything that when we use those words, where people are phenotypically, are typically referring to that as the people that's there today, and they know that that's not them. So again, under the laws of the Sharif, wherever the Sharif was there, they had to hold it down. And the Sharif badge is the 6-pointed star, right? Six-pointed star, right? And ain't that the so-called Star of Abraham, or what they call the Star of David, which is the star of who? The Ebers, right? The Hebrews, who we was just talking about, right? So what are these guys talking about when they saying that we're just like everybody, we just copying what everybody else is doing? How can that be? Boom. The Moorish Customs Authority shall directly inform the diplomatic consular agents of any violations of this regulation which may be committed under this jurisdiction in the order. Similar violations by Moorish subjects shall be brought directly by the customs to the Sherifian authority. Every confiscation, fine, and penalty must be imposed on foreigners by the consular jurisdiction and the Moorish subjects by the Sherifian jurisdiction. See? 2 different jurisdictions. Yet, when you use one flag to fly under the other, that's when you can run into issues, because then that's trying to fly two vessel flag without a treaty. But we're the only Asiatics with something like that to be able to bring it to context. So what they have to do is discourage us from exercising that part of our nobility. So due to the United States adopting democratic socialism, which is what is democratic socialism? Nazism. That's right. It's Nazism. Don't ever forget it. Fascism. That's right. Slavery. That's right. These are all isms. An ism is a man-made thing. So these are things that were created by a certain type of man, a mankind. But because mankind created something doesn't mean that that is what man created. We cannot keep taking responsibility for the destruction of this planet when we at times went through bouts of forced amnesia, conversion, and coercion, to the point of perpetual amnesia. And so now we're waking up to this fact. We're trying to put this stuff together, but we're using the wrong medium to do it. There will never be a revolution on social media. The only revolutions that can work on social media really are those that are funded by D-wave computers nowadays. These things that's pumping and under control of DARPA, CIA, and all them people. That's how they started the Arab Spring, to be able to get rid of Gaddafi, which we know was a plan that they had back in the late 80s to early 90s, when Wolfowitz and Rumsfeld and the rest of them niggas created that high one day somewhere and said, we're going to call this the plan for a new American century. And we're in it. We're in it right now. We're in it. So we can't say that it's a conspiracy when it's a fact. You can go online and read it. And it's a play-by-play of how they either want to set up the pipeline that goes around the world or the railway system. The Russians want the railway system. The Russians and Chinese want the railway system. They don't want, United States and them don't want that. Because that'll start a whole new railroad baron thing. That's what the movie Snowpiercer was about. All of these potential realities being played out as entertainment. You know what I'm saying?